Welcome to Advanced Prompting Concepts. In this module, we'll go beyond basic prompting and explore structured frameworks, advanced techniques, and best practices to help you get more consistent, high-quality results from Copilot. In AI Foundations, you were introduced to introductory prompting training. Clear prompts help Copilot better understand what you need and how to respond. In the previous module, we noted that Copilot, like all AI, can generate generic content. In this module, we'll focus on how prompting helps reduce that. The clearer and more specific your prompt, the more Copilot can deliver results that are tailored, relevant, and useful, rather than generic. Let's compare less effective and more effective prompts. Less effective prompts are often vague, provide little context, and don't explain the desired output. For example, summarize news about a company may result in a response that's too broad or not formatted the way you need. More effective prompts are specific, written in full sentences, and clearly state tone, purpose, and format. The good news is there are no wrong prompts. Natural, conversational language is encouraged, so experiment and refine as you go. Prompt frameworks shift us from improvisation to intention. Instead of guessing how to ask Copilot for something, we use a defined set of ingredients: context, task, constraints, and format. Just like cooking, when ingredients are missing or unbalanced, results vary. Frameworks ensure the right components are always present, which improves precision and consistency. This is how we scale Copilot value, by making high-quality outcomes repeatable, not dependent on expert users. Let's look at some example frameworks to get an idea of how to put this into practice. Let's look at some useful frameworks, starting with PASTA. The PASTA framework is designed for decision-making and problem-solving. PASTA stands for problem, aspects, solutions, takeaways, and action. Start by clearly stating the problem. Identify the key aspects influencing it. Explore possible solutions. Summarize the takeaways. And finish with the action you want Copilot to help with next. This structure is especially useful for strategic planning scenarios. In this example, the prompt walks Copilot through a business challenge step by step using the PASTA framework. It starts by clearly stating the problem, which gives Copilot a precise understanding of what needs to be analyzed. In this case, uneven sales performance across regions. Next, the prompt outlines the key aspects influencing the issue, such as regional breakdowns, product performance, conversion rates, and external factors. This signals to Copilot what dimensions matter most in the analysis. Then, the prompt introduces possible solutions, allowing Copilot to reason across multiple options rather than jumping to a single conclusion. The takeaway section helps Copilot interpret the data, highlighting patterns, risks, and opportunities that should inform decision-making. Finally, the action clearly defines the desired output, a structured summary with insights and recommendations, so Copilot knows exactly how to package the response. By guiding Copilot through problem, aspects, solutions, takeaways, and action, the output becomes more analytical, structured, and immediately usable for business decisions. This is where Copilot shifts from generating answers to supporting strategic thinking. CLEAR is a framework focused on clarity and delegation. CLEAR stands for context, lead, examples, assumptions, and request. Provide background context. Explain what you want Copilot to lead with. Share examples of the style or outcome you want. Clarify assumptions or constraints, such as word count. And make a specific request. This framework is ideal for prompt crafting and communication clarity. This example shows how the CLEAR framework helps guide Copilot toward a precise outcome. It begins with context, setting the situation so Copilot understands the business moment. In this case, preparing a quarterly performance review for senior leadership. Next, the lead clarifies what Copilot should focus on, crafting a strong opening statement that sets the tone for the presentation. The prompt then includes examples, which give Copilot a reference point for style and direction without locking it into a single answer. Assumptions and constraints are clearly stated, including tone guidance, word limits, and the need to resonate with both executive and operational audiences. This prevents Copilot from over-explaining or drifting off target. Finally, the prompt ends with a clear request, specifying exactly what's needed: 3 concise opening statements suitable for a Q4 performance review. By structuring the prompt with Clear, Copilot can generate responses that are focused, polished, and aligned with executive expectations, without additional refinement or back and forth. There are different prompting techniques you can use depending on your goal as well. These techniques work as effective training sessions for Copilot to help it better understand what it is you are hoping to produce as an output. Shot prompting is providing sample outputs to Copilot to use as a reference for how it should generate an output. Zero-shot prompting asks Copilot to complete a task without examples. One-shot prompting provides a single example to guide the response. Few-shot prompting includes multiple examples to shape how Copilot responds. The more complex the task, the more helpful examples can be. Once you find prompts that work well, save them for reuse. Store them in OneNote, Prompt Gallery, or SharePoint. Use placeholders like role, tone, or audience. And share templates across teams to drive consistency and efficiency. Reusable prompts help scale good practices. Let's look at some tools available to you in the demo.
Now let's look at one of the tools that you have available to you as an NRG employee, the AI Prompting Lab. So the AI Prompting Lab is designed to help you learn by doing. It's not just about reading tips, it's about practicing how to write better prompts so Copilot can give you better results in real work scenarios. So what you'll find on this, when you open this site, you'll see short explanations paired with examples. These are intentional. Each section introduces a prompting concept and immediately shows you what it looks like in action. So as we look at the top and you begin at the top of the page, you'll just move through the lab in order. You don't need any prior AI experience. Each example is written so you can copy it, understand it, and then modify it. So starting from the top, you have the ingredients for a good prompt recipe. Now, this is just something visual to help you understand what components are necessary when you're trying to put together a good prompt. The next section is talking about shot prompting. And so in this section, it's just more visual representation of what we covered earlier about how providing Copilot with examples will only help to train Copilot on exactly what it is that you're looking to get out of your outputs. The next section is where we start looking specifically into the prompt builders. So within this section, you have several prompt frameworks broken out into different levels of complexity. And so you've got level 1 prompts here, and you have 5 level 1 prompts, and then you have 5 level 2 prompts. And we'll take a look at these here in a second. But when you are trying to put together of what makes sense for you and your task, you can use these prompt frameworks to help you put together the prompt that you need. And you can see that there's listed here a description of what each one of the frameworks is good for. So when we're in this lab, we're focused on figuring out the clear context, being specific about the task, defining what a good answer looks like. And when we put these things together, these patterns work the same way, whether we're using it in any of the different apps or in Copilot Chat. But it's essentially giving Copilot the ingredients for a successful output. So as you go through the lab, think about your own work. Replace the example scenarios with your real tasks, such as drafting emails, summarizing documents. The goal is to reuse these prompting techniques in your day-to-day work. So when you're working through this lab, don't think that this is something you need to complete everything at once, going through and doing each one of these different frameworks. The prompting lab is a work reference, so you can bookmark this and come back to this regularly. This is supposed to help you put together these things. So there's no right or wrong outputs here. So experimentation is encouraged. The more you practice prompting in the lab, the more confident and effective you'll be when you're prompting in general. So now let's take a look at an example and put together one. So we're going to open up Clear. And so this one is good for prompt crafting, communication, clarity, and delegation. And so I'm going to give it some information. So what is the situation or background? I have governance meetings coming up. I want it to draft me an email, and I need the email to be concise and professional. The assumptions are that my audience is super busy. And the request is I need a good subject, an agenda for this meeting with bullets, and a deadline on actions. And so you can see as I'm completing this, it's marking them complete, and it's I have it now completed here. Here is a prompt that I can use. So I'm going to copy this prompt, and then I'm going to go over to Copilot, and I'm just going to paste this prompt in here and then let Copilot go to work. And so as it's going to work, it'll put together the output, which is the draft email that I'm asking for, and we'll see if it's able to capture all of the information that I need. At worst case, this is going to be something that I can use as a starter email. You should never just take something directly from Copilot and go to outputs. You should take it, review it, and make sure that it captures what you need. But you see here, governance review meeting, prep and required inputs, and then it's got some basic information here. This didn't give me a whole lot of detail, but it at least is something that I can start with when I go. Now, let's say, for instance, that this did capture exactly what it is that I wanted to do. Once that prompt is done, and you can see there's nothing processing here, so the stop icon is gone, I can hover over the prompt itself, and then you see this little bookmark icon here. If I hit Save Prompt, it's going to save this prompt to my prompt gallery. So I can save this, and now I can go back to the prompt gallery and quickly access that prompt. But you can see here, I have the ability here to put this email out just directly from Copilot here. Again, I can access that previously saved prompt. I can go back to the prompting lab and work more on prompts. At the bottom of the prompt lab, there's also some best practice tips that you can review. Again, this tool is here for you to refine your skill in prompting, because it's not going to be something that you're going to pick up overnight, but as you continue to practice, you'll get better at prompting.
To close, here are some best practices to remember. Start with a clear goal. Test and iterate your prompts. Maintain a consistent tone. Save what works. And continue refining your prompts as Copilot evolves. Thoughtful prompting is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. Thank you for participating in this program, and we look forward to seeing you in the next section.